You are watching Shoutcraft, exciting entry-level esports commentary with myself, TotalBiscuit.
And welcome, everybody. We are back with the EU versus NA Challenge, continuing presented by Steelseries and StarCraftSource.com. Our first match in this best of 5 between Haypro, who is spawning at the 9 o'clock position as Yellow Zerg, and over at the 3 o'clock position, so far distance here on Metalopolis, we are going to have Liquid HuK playing as Pink Protoss.
Yes, indeed. HuK versus Haypro. That's a battle for the ages, isn't it? And as far as I'm aware, they're both on the same team. They both have liquid tags, so this is I wouldn't say a grudge match, and I certainly wouldn't say a friendly match either between these two. They'll be going at it, team or no team.
Absolutely. So far, we have had Europe winning the majority of the matches of these best of 5s. Europe is ahead in a count of 4-2, so should they win both of today's best of 5 matchups, Europe will be taking the entire challenge.
We'll see whether or not that's actually going to happen. And HuK is a formidable opponent. Never, ever underestimate HuK. Some people have been commenting that his style, or indeed his performance, has been a little bit inconsistent over the past couple of months, but I would never, ever count this guy out in any circumstances. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can come up with today.
Absolutely. You just look at HuK's track record and you absolutely know that he is not a player that one should just take lightly. Currently, the probe of HuK has just made his way into the main of Haypro for some quick scouting, and spots at the spawning pool has just started, and more importantly, that there is no early second hatch.
No, there is not. Not even bothering with that. HuK steals a couple of minerals there from the mineral field of Haypro, who ignores the probe doing a little bit of a dance right here. Now, in regards to his opponent, has Haypro actually scouted yet? As we can see, no, he hasn't. He's still trying to find out where exactly HuK is, and then exactly what he is doing. And what is he doing right now? He's got a gateway going up, and he's got an assimilator going up. So, honestly, I would expect initially a pretty standard opening build.
Yep, that gateway is going to be done in just a few short seconds. I would expect a stalker out of that early on to get some early top of the gate defense, and of course the cybernetics core to plug the other side of it. But quickly running down for some reason was a probe of HuK's. There is the cybernetics core, as I expected, doing a partial wall off at the top, but he does not have the zealot to plug, so the drone of Haypro makes his way into the main of HuK and steal some minerals.
Haypro retaliates. Yes, more stealing of the minerals there. It looks like so little, but at the end of the day, you take every possible advantage you can get. Haypro sorting himself out with a hatchery there a little bit earlier. Now trying to chase down that thieving bastard of a probe with 4 Zerglings heading across the map.
Zerglings do not have the speed advantage. They can catch up one at a time and maybe get a few hits off, but those shields are going to be able to absorb a lot of damage on that probe. I think he'll be able to get home just fine.
Should be okay. Shields are about to go down. One breaks off right there to take the Zelnaga watchtower, get himself a little bit of scouting information there as well. That drone's still in HuK space, keeping an eye on things. Second gateway coming up. Now he's plugged the gap. Oh, not quite plugged the gap, though. Not quite enough. Little bit of a gap there for the drone to squeeze through and escape. Using his chrono boost on both the gateway and the cybernetics core, he's also got a sentry coming up right here, give him a little bit of early defense, and a third gateway coming up really nice and quick for HuK, just right there next to his nexus.
Cybernetics core is halfway done researching Warp Gate. It will be some time until that is complete, but what is complete is the second hatch of Haypro, just about to finish at his natural. There it is. We should see a transfer down to that mineral line shortly. And also, we're going to have some metabolic boost from Haypro, going to make those Zerglings all the more deadly.
Indeed. We'll see how well that works out for him. He's not going to be able to rush into the base just yet, considering HuK does have 2 sentries up. And indeed, he's pushing away that expeditionary force. Little bit of firepower coming in there from the sentry. He's got 3 up now. They're incredibly heavy into the sentries. And Haypro's response to that is, well, we're just going to build a Roach Warren then and see what happens there, which is a good solid. And a 4th gateway now, and 5 gateways coming up right now for HuK. Wow, yeah, no kidding. I've actually seen this before. Admittedly, it wasn't using sentries as much. A match that I cast quite recently between White Ra and Machine. Indeed, you should have seen this earlier because that was the week 1 of the EU versus US.
Indeed.
There was a recast that I did, and White Ra actually did use in the 5th game a 5 gateway on 1 base setup. against the Zerg, and it worked really well.
I remember that setup specifically, and you're right, that setup did work very well. He timed it just as when the warp gate was completing, which is exactly what just happened inside the base of HuK. Warp gate completed just as one of those new gateways came up. He's now on 5 warp gate and pushing forward actually with this force. He does have a proxy pylon that he's warping in more units, but especially those sentries.
This is brutal against the fast expansion of the Zerg. There's no question about that. It's just so much front-loading of firepower in terms of what you can put in there. If you get the proxy pylon up, it's like suddenly Stalkers and Sentries out of freaking nowhere. And what's Haypro going to do? Well, at the moment, absolutely nothing, because he's being blocked in there. Everything that he can bring up is being stopped by those repeated force fields right now. HuK's just having his wicked way with that natural expansion.
He's going to have this match at this rate. He's definitely doing a great job with those sentries. Use the force fields and the range in order to take down the Zerglings at the ramp. The Zerglings were the last chance for a defense there for Haypro, so a very early initial and aggressive push from HuK seals the match incredibly quickly.
Yeah, like I said, this build works so very, very well. It worked really well in Protoss versus Zerg for White Ra against Machine. It worked well this time. It's almost identical, in fact, to what White Ra did earlier. Pops out one proxy pylon, pops out a second one a bit closer when he feels confident that he can do that, starts the warping on that, takes an expeditionary force from his base all the way around, drives away the initial scouting force of the Zerg player, and then rams it home. And in this case, using repeated sentries to keep Haypro out of his natural expansion so that he can just go to town on it. And as we saw, incredibly effective.